For decades now, conservative speech has been suppressed on most college campuses across America. Whether it's political correctness, intimidation by college professors, liberal peer pressure, or students self-censoring out of fear, today's universities are not exactly bastions of free thought and the respectful exchange of ideas they once were. Some parents barely recognize their kids after a semester or two of college. They come home supporting socialism, the LGBTQ agenda, climate change, and of course blaming America for most of the world's problems. But is it their fault? A new poll reveals that due to fear of backlash for their conservative views, a majority of Republican college students simply don't share their political views in class, and sometimes not even on campus. I'm David Fiorazzo, and this is Christ and Culture. In today's caustic, anti-Christian, progressive university environment, students can be mocked, intimidated, coerced into adopting an ideology that goes against core conservative principles. According to the College Fix, even students who identify as Republican-leaning independents indicated they've kept quiet. 73% reported they have withheld their political views to protect their grades. Unfortunate, but understandable. It's well known that liberal professors outnumber conservatives by at least a 10-to-1 ratio, which means reading assignments, for example, are rarely from conservative or libertarian authors and sources. Faculty and administrators overwhelmingly donate to the Democrat Party. Now, that's not exactly a newsflash here. So for those who still may be unconvinced, a Clemson University professor declared in a Facebook post that all Republicans are racist and scum. Middlebury College administrators actually apologized to students who were upset, get this, that a conservative speaker was invited to their campus. They pledged not to make that same mistake in the future. A journalism instructor at Mississippi State University compared a conservative student group to the KKK. A University of Michigan department chairwoman published an article titled, "It's Okay to Hate Republicans." A Kansas State professor kicked two students wearing Make America Great Again hats out of class the day after Trump won the 2016 presidential election. Now, we could go on and on. Here's an example from the comment section under a College Pulse survey. In a sociology class at Arizona State, the professor asked if students would give a child hormone blockers if the child believed they were transgender. Well, one student said he would rather teach his daughter to love her body the way it is rather than to change it. The teacher sat straight up and said, "So you would be a bad parent then? What is your name again?" Then she went to type something on her computer. Not a good day for him. Finally, or we'd be here all day, during a recent freshman orientation, we're told about some parents who were uncomfortable as campus speakers got up and introduced themselves by their names, titles, and also by the pronouns that they preferred to be called. And you dare not disagree. One alarming poll shows almost half of college students favor controlling speech on campus in order to promote a more inclusive, tolerant, and welcoming environment. Friends, this is happening, like it or not. Now, one problem in all this is the lack of awareness of what's going on. Too many parents of high school students have no idea it's this bad. Others are rightfully concerned. Their kids could end up with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt, and rather than receive a proper education, it's progressive all the way. In fact, the education system in America is, in large part, responsible for the progressive direction of our government. Just as Abraham Lincoln once stated, "The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next." Politics and government are downstream from culture, and we can clearly see the consequences of ideologically driven academia over the last 50 years. The death of critical thinking, intolerance of the Christian worldview, and the lack of true diversity at most universities is the new normal. A nationwide problem with no end in sight. Parents, be warned. God bless you and keep speaking the truth about things that matter.